right, gang, on this hump day Wednesday morning, I'm going to give you an editorial potpourri, if you will, and to give you some things to discuss in the comment section below. And I went through pages and pages and pages of Google search for police corruption, bad cops, and so forth, and I didn't really find anything serious enough to really talk about. There's a lot of talk about police defunding and how police are changing the way they work. A Florida, was it police chief or sheriff? I think it was a sheriff in Florida who's adopting Scottish ways of policing. So instead of saying to somebody who may be holding a baby on a freeway overpass, instead of saying, drop the baby, he's teaching his law enforcement officers to say, hey, we really care about you. I don't know what you're going through, but I want to hear about it. I do care. That's why I'm here, and they would put the baby down instead of drop the baby and okay, drop it, So that's some of the stories I found when I searched for police on Google. Then I found this one, and it's kind of a police potpourri, or not police potpourri. It's kind of a news potpourri. So I decided to give you this one instead. So enough of me talking. Let's get to the editorial. Thank you, USA Today, for this potpourri of recent developments. Louisville officer Brett Hankison, who was involved in the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor on March 13th, was fired Tuesday. Interim Chief Robert Schroeder accused Hankison of blindly firing 10 rounds into Taylor's apartment, creating a substantial danger of death and serious injury. Now remember, it was only a pre-termination hearing that was going to happen this week. So he wasn't technically fired. He was going to go to a hearing, and then the union could say, no, you're not doing that, and they could find some punishment. Apparently yesterday, he was fired. So, and we kind of knew that was going to happen, but I didn't want to say, yeah, he's been fired, and then the union reverse it. So some people had told me, I think on Monday or yesterday, that no, he's fired. No, that was a pre-termination hearing. But now it's official. He's fired, and he can do like that cop in Woodland, New Jersey, that Ryan Dubiel. He can go to another police department. Yeah, he can work at 9 different police stations and just fucking hurt people, kill people. So there you go. He's been fired but not charged. So now he can go work somewhere else. I know people go, well, he's fired. How many cops that get fired get rehired? All the time. Moving on, outside of President Donald Trump's rally in Phoenix at a mega church Tuesday, local authorities declared an unlawful assembly due to criminal activity and a current danger to our community, the Phoenix Police Department said on Twitter. That would be an interesting one to really look at. Was it an unlawful assembly, or was it just that Donald Trump didn't want people out there protesting? That's a good question, right? But even if it was, okay, let's say there was criminal activity going on, maybe some looting, maybe some rioting. You call it an unlawful assembly, so those who are lawfully exercising their First Amendment right to peaceably assemble are also told to get out of the area. That's what that kills me about this unlawful assembly, is that even the people that are lawfully exercising their First Amendment rights are also told, you will be arrested if you do not leave the area. This is an unlawful assembly. Who says it's unlawful? Yeah, I get it that there are people burning stuff, throwing bricks at police cars, rioting, looting. Okay, arrest them. They're criminals. But the people standing there saying no justice, no peace, you're going to be arrested too. This is an unlawful assembly. That's unconstitutional. Because we have a right in America to peaceably assemble. But what they do is they lump everybody into this bucket and say everybody leaves or everybody gets arrested. So now it's become Nazi Germany instead of Phoenix, Arizona, because you don't want anybody there because, well, there's criminals mixing in. There's criminals mixing in every goddamn day. People walking up and down the street of New York City. People are getting mugged. People are getting robbed. Are you going to tell? Nobody can walk up you walk in New York City now because there's criminals mingling amongst the pedestrians. So all pedestrians, get the fuck off the street or we're going to arrest all of you. That's that unlawful assembly thing. Even the people lawfully exercising their First Amendment rights are included into the criminal activity and told you will be arrested. And like I said, I'm going to say it one more time. So people walking up and down the street in New York City, because people are getting mugged, because stores are getting robbed, what are you going to arrest the pedestrians now? Saying, well, they're mingling. I don't know. What do you guys think? Moving on. A Virginia school board voted Tuesday to change the name of a high school in Springfield named after Confederate General Robert E. Lee. So Robert E. Lee High School is now going to be Martin Luther King High School, right? We'll see. What do you guys think about that, changing the name of Robert E. Lee High School? The FBI concluded its investigation into a noose found in the garage stall of Darrell Bubba Wallace Jr. at Talladega Super Speedway. The agency said the rope had been in the stall since at least October of 2019 and was not a hate crime. Bubba Wallace Jr. is the only full-time black driver in the NASCAR's Elite Cup Series. What gets me, and I just read that, and I had read that too somewhere or heard on video, I think it was on a YouTube blog. They were talking about that this wasn't a hate crime, that they're blowing this thing out of proportion. And I kind of thought, well, because I didn't hear that there was a noose, and I was like, what's going on with this Bubba Wallace guy? Now I know that there was a noose found in the garage stall that had been there since October of last year. But now in this protest of today, where they're pulling down statues and changing high school names and everything else, they go, there was a noose found in a NASCAR garage stall. Yeah, it was there in October. Why are we now in June of 2020 talking about it as a hate crime? Why wasn't it a hate crime in October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May? It's the narrative, guys. And a lot of you talk about that. A lot of you comment on my videos and say, the narrative. That's the narrative right there. Saying that it was a hate crime because they found a noose in his garage stall. The damn thing had been there in October. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm talking fast because I'm out of time here. But I'm going to get to one more, and then I'll let you guys start discussing stuff. Statues of former presidents George Washington and Thomas Jefferson have been torn down by protesters or are being removed across the country. Where does that leave Mount Rushmore, which displays two of those presidents in huge granite in South Dakota's Black Hills? South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem has a simple response to those questions, whether it will be taken down. Not on my watch. The controversial side of Mount Rushmore goes beyond the slaveholding past of Washington and Jefferson, however. Native American tribes were given the Black Hills in perpetuity in the Fort Laramie Treaty of 1868. But miners seeking gold came into the area in an expedition led by General George Custer in 1874 and demanded the U.S. Army's protection. The Indian Appropriations Act of 1876 cut off all rations until the Lakota ended hostilities and ceded the Black Hills to the federal government. Tribes have attempted to reclaim the Black Hills several times in recent decades. And, it's got Teddy Roosevelt. He was a good president, right? Or no? I don't know what you guys think. I don't know. I'm just thinking about my coffee over here and closing this thing down. But there you go. There's some things to chew on, guys. Mount Rushmore, should they just, well, how would they do that? Would they go up there with a chisel and just start chiseling? Would they make like four? They could do that. They could have Spike Lee, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and the Reverend Jesse Jackson. That could be the four faces on Mount Rushmore. What do you guys think about that in the comment section below? Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers from coast to coast. There's your hump day editorial potpourri. Alex.